Hello there, welcome to another live stream. My name is Shane Olson and today we're going to be sculpting this Goblin for Ronin Arts Workshop. It's just another one. I was working on one, was it last week or the week before? Anyway, I'm gonna start, this is a base mesh. I'm gonna start to, hey, what's up, Neil? I'm just gonna start to make all the accessories and things and weapons and whatever, and then I'll pose him after that. So, first thing I want to do is, I was told that this darkness is from a hood that he was wearing before, like a shadow, like a fake, like this. He's not going to be wearing a hood like that, so, hey Brad, how you doing? What's up, other Neil? How's it going? What is happening today? What's good? Let's see. My brother Daryl and my other brother Daryl. Do you guys remember that? Alright, this song is making my ears crazy. I'm gonna fast forward it. Boop. Okay, hopefully this one's better. Crank that RGB up, intensity up a bit. There we go. I just want to slowly paint away this color. We do need more Neils, and then have an arena battle. Does that even work? Oh gosh, you know what? Maybe if spotlight projection, yeah, there it goes. It's like, okay, now it's too hot. All right, let's turn that back down. There we go. Like, why in the heck is that not working? It gets me every time. Guess I can move my mic a little better. Okay, now he's not so dark-eyed. I am going to reshape his ears like I did with the other one. And then we'll just start building the parts. Let me see. Never got the plugin to work. What plugin? Okay, let's see. Bandages. Here we go. Hector gave me this set of bandages from a different sculpt that he did. So this is the part where it's like work smarter, not harder kind of deal. Oh, you never got okay. Do character artists like professionals can't able to reach 100% accurate reference matching? If this true, what? So that's, I don't quite understand what you're asking, Art Passion. So I've been doing this for 26 years now, and I just get as close as I possibly can. This one's a little different because this is just kind of a guideline, not necessarily a perfect match that I'm trying to hit. It's more of a, yeah, a guide. Yeah. So Neil, how did you get it to work? I have it. It's called the ZBrush Startup Utility, and it's installed, but it never remembers. Yeah, see, spotlight projection off, but it never remembers. I don't know why. It's there. Were you able to get it to work? I can't get it to work. I'm just going to kind of roughly get these into place. What do you mean you had to mess with it? Like, what did you do to mess with it? Just curious. Okay. I'm just roughly getting these into place. So this goblin is part of a set. There's other goblins that Hector and the crew have done. So they have to kind of match that aesthetic, but kind of be inspired by this concept and the pose and the weapons and all that kind of stuff. So as long as my character matches and I have the likeness about 90 to 93%, will studios hire me? Or is it valid piece for a portfolio? I mean, it depends on the character and what you're going for. It depends on what studio, you know, and what they're looking for specifically. So for me, I worked for Disney for 10 years and I had to be completely accurate with those concepts. I had to make it look exactly like the character because it was a licensed character. So, I mean, that's kind of different. It's not the same like that in every studio. But I would just say try and get as close as possible. Okay. So what's everybody up to today? I think I might, these wrists are super heavy and his hands are gigantic, which I love. I love the look of it. But at the same time, it kind of makes his lower legs like really thick. So I might adjust those so they're not, so it has a little bit of, you know, a little better silhouette at the ankles. So it's not such a tree trunk. But that kind of makes him like Goblin-like, you know? So, and it gives him a unique shape. So I'm gonna stick with it for now, but I kind of have that in mind that I might change it later. I think I had to put in the ZBrush to get it to remember, not the new custom. Oh, I think, yeah, okay. I'm trying to remember where I put it. If I put it in the old place. But I think you're right. I think plugins have to go in the old place. I should probably mention that to Maxon. Make sure. Let's see if it works. I thought that studio demands 100% accurate characters, like the realistic characters. Example, my Kratos character, which is in work in progress. Of Raf Grizzetti's reference, but thanks for clarification. Like I wish I had 100% answer for you. But it really depends on the project and the goals of the studio. If you have to be 100% accurate or not, you know? But I will say this, your value as a 3D character modeler most of the time comes from how well you can match a concept. Because a studio has paid for that concept typically, and they've greenlit it, and it's gone through all of the art direction, you know, and it's been green, you know, what am I trying to say? Approved. It's been approved. So after it's been approved, that's the character they want. So if you don't deliver that character, then they're not gonna be happy about it. I've got mine in the new place. I'll try the old one later. Yeah, same. I want to try. I gotta see where mine is. Just doing some little bit of mirrored adjustments. I like all of the space between these, so I'm probably gonna thin these straps out so it's not just a solid strap thing. By the way, I've seen many pros create eyes shiny without textures. How do they do it? They do it with materials. So if you go to here, I'll show you. I have a material that does it. I don't know where did my tool menu go? What the heck? Okay, we'll put it back. That's really strange. Okay, so if I select the eyes like this, his eyes are selected. And then if I go to my paintbrush, and then you need to switch this color. Can you see that? Is it covered? You barely see it. Okay. You have to switch it to M for material right here. And then you go down here and you browse materials, and I have one called ZBrush Eye Reflect. Click on that and see it fills. It doesn't, it shows you a preview of what it's going to look like when you fill it, okay? And then you just hit fill object. You got to make sure you have that material selected or it's not going to work. Okay, and I just filled those eyes with this material. So now if I go back to skin shade 4, the eyes remain filled with that material, see? You just tested it? Okay, thanks. Yeah, I'll have to move it because it looks like it's installed, but it's not. That's a false positive. Again, this is called ZBrush Eye Reflect. You don't even have the ZPlug64 folder there. Interesting. In the old place or the new place? Okay, I should probably get him some drawers so I don't get called out. Okay. Let's see what we have here. These are all the parts from the one that was already there. Let me do a save as first. And we'll just name this that. Okay. Yeah, YouTube bots are on the way. Is it available in all ZBrush versions? No, it's not. No, you have to go find it. It's called, here, I'll type it. It's made by ZBrush. It's something like that. ZBrush Eye Reflect or something. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is append just any old shape. Like this. That looks nice. And then go all the way to the bottom of my list. Grab this. Show my gizmo, and then switch to a sphere. Ook. And then it replaces that object with whatever object I have selected. In this case, it's a sphere. And then I'm just going to give him little skivvies. Goblin skivvies. Do you use Z-Sphere rig? And if yes, how do we stop stretch? I don't use Z-Sphere rig, no. I use either Mixamo or Character Creator or a rig in Maya. anything but that, typically. Give him a diaper. Oh, too fast. Okay, this is just temporary till I get it figured out better. You know, I think I'm gonna project it. Project all. No. Okay. And then just kind of inflate it out a little bit. So, gosh. There we go. Goodness. Okay. Okay, YouTube bots. Don't call me out on this. I'm trying, I promise. There. Parts covered. I guess I could have done a mask extract too. All right, I think I'm gonna do a ZRemesh on this just to get it cleaner. Because it's probably stretched all over the place. And question, which is bothering me for too long, mostly characters are in A or T pose, then you guys UV that in A or T pose or different pose, then render it. I usually use an A pose, not a T pose. I used to use T pose all the time back in the day. It depends on where you're gonna rig it. Like if you're gonna push it over to, like, say, Motion Builder, that's a motion capture program. That program wants your characters in a T pose, so then you have to build it in a T pose. But typically in A pose, because your character is going to be with its arms down most of the time in the game. So that's the reason why you don't do T poses too much anymore. Let's do a ZRemesh on this bad boy. Let's do double. Let's do same. Yeah, sure, that's good. ZBrushing, hey there. How's it going? Welcome. And I gotta switch back to, let's go back to my paintbrush, make sure this is RGB. Fill object, and there we go. Okay. Go to the lowest subdivision level, and I'm gonna adjust his ears a little bit. Whoops, not with the color, with the move brush. I should probably save this again. Now that he's got a diaper, so I don't have to remake the diaper if it crashes. Working on posing myself at the moment in Nomad and tried ZBrush, but no such luck yet with a not so standard pose. Yeah, it's just a matter of masking. I've seen people doing nor T or A pose. They do different random poses and facial expressions, then do a render. So is that mesh or character riggable? No, it's single frame render. So, okay. For example, let's see, I might have some loaded up here. I've been doing other characters like this one. This is one I just finished. This is like a samurai goblin. Now you have to realize this is for a miniature, like a little minifig for D&D tabletop mini games. This is not for animation. So no, he would not be riggable. This is for rendering and printing, 3D printing. So that's why you see him in a different pose like this. Let's see, I don't think I have another one. So when I do characters for video games, I will do them in a T-pose and then rig them. And then I will either pose off a marketing shot, and that would just be for either a toy or for rendering. But for the game, you don't pose it for a game to render, or to rig, sorry. Let's see here. This one, no, let's do this one. Nah, okay. This is what I send ultimately, but that's not for rendering. This one. There you go. So this is another one. But again, this is just for 3D printing tabletop character. A miniature. Kind of see the stuff behind me? That's what I do. I don't really do stuff for games anymore. I used to, but I don't do it anymore. I mostly do collectibles these days. Now it's got to save all these tools that I've loaded. Goodness. Come on. There we go. No. Yes. Josh, oh really? Disney Infinity vibes? Kind of. Yeah, so when I worked for Disney, I worked on Disney Infinity back in the day. Man, it's almost been 10 years now. But you can see, you can find a link of to my portfolio in the description. But these are a bunch of characters that I've done. So these are all for, I mean, some of these characters were for games, but they're for toys too, you know. This is the latest one I've done right here. And you can, I need to get rid of this logo, but I changed it back to 3D Character Workshop. Anyway, yeah, so here's an A pose of him. And then I posed him like this later on. One more question I have. Kratos body parts like torso, head, and more in all separate ZTLs, and I detailed. So during retopo, is it must to retopo all of them in a single mesh to avoid seams during bake? It's, yeah, you're asking very, very big technical questions. I cover all of that in a course that I made. It's that you can find on my school. Because it gets very technical. So usually your character is in one Z tool, not a whole bunch of different Z tools. Maybe different sub tools, but not in different Z tools. And then you can bake multiple objects down to one object, but it doesn't you don't necessarily have to have just one object that's the full character. Like you can bake multiple objects to multiple other objects, but it's very technical. It's a little too, I guess it's a little too much to just answer in just a single answer. I wish it was that easy. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna give him a slightly bigger head so he can... So I can put a headband around his head and then kind of give him some hair coming back off of here. But I'm going to be doing collectibles for Disney again soon. And there's news today that McFarlane Toys just barely purchased Q-Figs. And I did a Q-Fig Mickey Mouse. I don't know if you can see him. No, he's out of the camera. Give him kind of a frowny face. But I did a traveling Mickey Mouse for Q-Figs, and it never saw the light of day. So I'm kind of curious to see if they'll release that. That'll be nice if they do. I wonder if they'll bring the art director back. So I really liked working with him. I'm gonna make this, the tip of his ear, really small. I like the shape of this and how it's kind of kinked. What does this look like? Okay. I'm gonna slide this down a little bit and push it like that. Oh goodness. Didn't like that, did it? Kind of went back to being big again. That's the problem with editing the lower subdivision levels. Sometimes it doesn't always like what you're doing because it's too low, so you kind of have to go up in subdivision levels and then work it back out. Did you pose her with masking? I did. Yeah. I pose all my characters in ZBrush just with masking and moving. Everybody thinks it's a big secret, like there's some way to do it that's, you know, like a rig or something, and it's not. You just mask it out and then you pose it. It's not easy when you're first starting out doing it, but it's 100% possible. Will it be under NDA Disney stuff, and once it's released, can you then say you worked on it? Yeah, yep, both of those things are true. For right now, all I can say is that I'll be doing stuff for Disney again. Which I'm super excited about. I like this nose and this chin, but I'm going to make it... I'm afraid if I pull these in, it'll make him too human-like. But I don't want him to have same face as the other ones, so I'm kind of making his head a little wider. Maybe. I still want him to look like a goblin, you know? Okay. And I want to kind of exaggerate some of these muscles because he's supposed to be like this powerful monk guy. So I'm going to make his muscles just a little bit bigger than the average version. Give him more lats. He's got kind of a Shrek neck happening. This is kind of a pleasant song. Yeah, I want him to have pretty big shoulders. Give him bigger thighs. Maybe we'll reduce his little tummy somewhat. I like the, because it makes him look goblinish with his little belly. I don't know if I'll get to the posing stage with him during this stream, but we'll try. Okay. And I'm probably gonna wait until he's posed to put the extra stuff around this. But I am gonna add this kind of leather wrapped thing around his hand, and then I might start making these weapons. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I might use the staging thing in this too. Let me see what happens if I widen him overall. Just subtle tweaks. And bring his waist in to exaggerate that kind of lats. Okay. All right, feeling pretty good about that. And then, let's see. Hey, what's up, Tolk? How you doing, man? Finally caught you live. Got a question about teeth. If a concept has just a hint of individual teeth, sketchy lines and shapes not fully rendered, would you do them separately or as one mesh? I'm trying separately, but they just look creepy on the character. Yeah, so what I typically would do is, it depends on the concept, but if it's a more realistic character, I separate them out. If it's a more stylized character, I will, there's like three different levels. Like the very, very stylized is just like a horseshoe shaped, you know, U-shaped thing in his mouth that's just like white, you know, just like creak. And then the next level is like taking that, subdividing it, and then like drawing the lines in between the teeth. So then it has kind of this subtle, the teeth are there, but not, and I think that's probably the way you should go. So they're there, but they don't have really dark lines in between them, you know? And then of course the last version is having separate teeth altogether. I think this guy, yeah, so this guy has a version of the second ones that I was talking about, but these are, even these are a little detailed. See, they're not individual teeth. I mean, they have cut lines on them, but they're not individual teeth. So probably something like this, and you can dig in to make the lines in between the teeth as dark or as light as you want. You could even put them in a layer and then adjust that layer to then fine tune exactly how deep you want them to go. So yeah, that's a good question. Okay, I think just to keep in the style of the other things that I've been working on, like with the other ropes. See how this one has ropes all over the place? I think I might make this necklace kind of a rope, and then have these teeth kind of tied into a rope. And then I also might have a rope around this part right here. Let me take a look closer here. Yeah, it's almost a double rope. Looks like twine and stuff. Because these are going to be printed so small that it's better to have little details like this, because you'll still see the rope texture even though it's tiny. But like the belts and things, that detail kind of goes away. So I might to go here, here. Okay. And I can't see his back hand, but I'm assuming that it looks the same as this with this piece of leather. So let's get that piece of leather on there. Let's grab this color, and I'm just going to drag a cylinder. Oh, it has looks like it has subdivision levels. So instead, I'm just going to append a star and then replace it with a cylinder. What? Oh, it's still on that piece. There we go. Okay. Gosh dang it. Okay, so I just kind of want it to go about up to here. I think I'm going to adjust those wrists to be tighter before I get into doing this. So I'm going to go ahead and hide this for a minute. And then I'm going to hide these wraps. Come on. Okay, where are you, wraps? There you are. I need to go through and delete all this other stuff. Yeah, I just kind of want to take these wrists and reduce the thickness. See, they're very thick, especially from this angle. I like them a lot because it looks very Goblin-like, but when it comes to being wrapped and then having a leather bit on top of that wrap, it kind of loses the silhouette and just becomes a stovepipe. Same with these ankles. Again, I really like the ankles. They look very thick and Goblin-ish, but when they're all wrapped, it just kind of loses the silhouette shape of it. Tolkfan, does that answer your question? Thinks I'm going to remesh the teeth into one blob and try it out. There you go. The dark spaces between the teeth seem like the problem. Yeah, then it looks like creepy. I think it's even worse for female characters. Absolutely. Just going to pull these armpits down a little bit, which will make his arms even a little bit thicker. I think these shoulders will feel better once he's posed. Okay, I'm feeling better about that. Oops. Okay, let's adjust the wraps now. I gotta find them. They're probably there they are. Make sure symmetry is on. And we'll just kind of tighten these up around the wrists. That way I can add those leather bits without it being even more square. This music kind of reminds me of Sting a little bit. Okay, let's do the same thing with the ankles down here. The cankles. Okay, that's a better silhouette, I think. Looks a little more believable. Okay, again, I'm probably going to go through these and weed out some of the strips and straps and show some of his skin through them. But right now, I just want them kind of placeholder in there. Okay, now we can go back to this. And I'm just going to make this leather shape out of this cylinder. I want it to wrap around it. Okay, so what we're going to do is a group by normals, which will give us caps. Then I'm going to get rid of those caps. Delete hidden. We can show double-sided just for a second. And then I'm going to insert one edge loop here. Just about right where his wrist is, maybe. That way I can grab the move brush and just kind of squish this around to fit. It just kind of covers, see it just going barely up on the back of his hand and letting his thumb be free. Be free. So I just need to kind of tweak it and adjust and move things. And yes, this doesn't go all the way around, so I just wanted to wrap it before I delete. So I can make sure it goes around far enough. Kind of want to shape this like this. Kind of let his thumb just kind of hang out there. And then this is a little more flat across the back of his hand. And this is sucked in a little more. Yep. Pull it in till I see the straps peeking. I kind of want to make this straight across. And this straight across. I don't want it to be too square. Okay, something like that. All right, so let me see. I'm going to make it go as far as I can take it with it making sense. So maybe let's try here and then all the way around to here. And then we'll get rid of these. Oh, come on, see you. Delete. And I can do dynamic subdivisions and then add some thickness. Thanks for hanging out with me today, you guys. I really appreciate it. Hey, Mark, you made it. How's it going? I can do a quick mirror and weld. Put it on the other side. And this is really flaring out a lot, so if we flip him upside down, this is actually what it should look like. That's his right hand. So if we look at his right hand, you can kind of see how much this is flaring out and how much this is getting squished on the inside here. I really want it to conform to the wrist underneath. And this is really, really low geometry. I mean, if you look at it, it's low. And it's intentionally low, so then it's easily editable. And I want to make this part kind of flare out. You gotta be careful because this can easily create resin pockets. I'm going to crease this down, or turn the crease level down to like a 2. And then crank this up to a 4. That should give us rounded creases better. Crease. Maybe not. It's not doing what I want it to do. It did give me a crease there, which I don't want. Okay. I'm just going to let that be for now. And then I'm trying to decide if I want to put a rope around the wrist there. Probably will. Make this conform even more. So what's everybody working on today? Do you have fun projects? Okay, oh, looks like I didn't. Did I not have symmetry on? There we go. Let's name this 2. Right. I want to shape his pecs a little better. They're starting to get a little kind of squarish. Pull them down here into the pits a little more. Don't want them too round. Start to look like something else. Trying to get some more of my Seuss done. Nice. I'd love to try one of those Joel Sosa ones Brad's been doing. Oh, they're so great. They're so good. Brad, are you still here? Brad was here earlier. I think he's working on the Ninja Turtles girl right now. What's her name? The yellow outfit. What is her name? Gosh dang it. Okay, I'm gonna quickly give him his headband. Oh, April, there you go. Thank you. April, I knew that. Okay, trying to decide what I want to do. I think I'll just make it cloth. Okay, so I'm gonna append. Where are you, append? There you are. Append a star. Go to the very, very bottom, grab that star, switch it to a cylinder. Oops, gotta have my gizmo showing. Why are you not switching? Come on, there it goes. Like what? What is going on here? Must be really small. There it goes. It looks like it's kind of this reddish color. He's like a 1980s track star. Okay, I'm gonna uncrease all. Probably gonna Sculptress Pro this thing. But to make it match his head better, I'm gonna mask off the bottom. Just gonna scale down the top. Uncrease all. Then subdivide it. Looks like it's subdivided into oblivion. That's all right. I'm gonna hit apply on that. Maybe add a couple more subdivision levels just so I have a way to work it. And then his brows are powerful. Let's see if I can grab them and pull them in a little bit so they're not so prominent. Same with his jawbones. Okay, that is better. I think I'm gonna have to take a bio break here in a minute. Too much coffee. Okay, now that I have this in place, I think I'm gonna Sculptors Pro it, maybe. I think so. I'll do that when I'll be right back, you guys. Yeah, just hang tight really quick. I'll be right back. Give me like 2-3 minutes. 1 sec. Okay. Thanks for waiting. I'm back. All right. So with this bandana thing, I don't know what you'd call it, headband. Let's crank this up. Okay, this is kind of the topology of it, and I want better topology. So I'm gonna take delete the lower subdivisions, so then it looks like this. Hey Sammy, how are you? What is new, my friend? Let's see. Kind of want to pull an edge out right along here. Too much on the bottom there. Okay, I think this is enough geometry that I can just turn off symmetry, go to my carve brush, just kind of give it some treatments. Something like that, I think. Give it a few more subdivision levels. Maybe pull this down the back of his head a little bit and then in. Kind of looks a little strange back here. Okay. Sorry, I'm all over the place with it. Maybe give it a little interest so it's not just a flat. Just wherever these kind of, then it looks like it's kind of folding over itself a little bit more if you do that. Letting kind of these wrinkles guide your way. Okay. Here we go. Let's do a save. Okay. Looks like he's got some slashes and stuff on him. That'll be fun to add later on. I think I do want to go ahead and add like the underlying belt kind of a thing on his waist, because it kind of has a double strap. There's he gave me a little bit of detail happening here, so we can see what's going on. Yeah, so here's that little bony necklace thing, but this belt, it's kind of, it looks like it's double layered leather wrapping around, and then it's got like this top rope going through these rings, and then a bottom red rope going through these rings, and then kind of this loincloth thing hanging down. And then yeah, it looks like this wrist has a whole bunch of little twine bits around the wrist, and then it's double strap tied on like this. And then his hair is coming out of that headband. So that's interesting. And then it's really, I don't know how that would get printed, this hair, because that would be so flimsy and small. I need to ask him about that. And then the weapon detail, of course. So, okay. So I'm going to have that on my second screen as a kind of a reference that I'm looking at. I think I'm going to go ahead and build out, I'm going to build out this belt thing. I'm going to build it just like I built the, those wrist bits. Where did they go? There they are. And I'll put detail around the edges of these wrist things later on, after I make sure that they are how I want them to be. They still feel way wide to me because his hands are so huge and his wrists are so huge. They just feel like these dominating giant pieces versus like this, you know? So I'll need to get some clarification on that. Okay, so let's do append a cylinder. I say cylinder, but I don't want this one. This is the one that comes with ZBrush. The reason I don't want it is because it has poles at either end. See these tight poles? So if you were to subdivide this, it's actually not welded in the center. So if you were to subdivide this, it would make a mess. You would try to pack all this geometry down inside these triangles, which they're actually not triangles, they're quads. You just can't see the ends of them. Yeah, it's just, yeah, it's just weird. Hi, can I ask how is done something? I mean, the person who did it explained it on the comments, but I don't get how it's done. What do you mean? What are you asking? Yeah, you can ask questions. It's fine. I'll see if I can understand. I don't know if I can or not, but I'll try. Okay, as opposed to my cylinder that I made, my cylinder, it's really small here. It has quad caps on it. Like this, quad caps. I don't think you can post a link. Yeah. You can try. But this one will subdivide way easier because it has quads. Yeah, this is not my channel, by the way. This is Maxon's YouTube channel. I don't work for Maxon. I just demo ZBrush here. He explained that he has done them this way. IMM hair with an alpha for the tip and texture for the base. It's kind of a mix between hair cards and stylized IMM hair. Oh, yeah. It's this. Yeah. Okay. I think I've seen this one before. I'll just show you guys what he's talking about. So this. Let me open this image in a new tab so I can zoom in. Yeah, so it is like hair cards. So inside of ZBrush, black is alpha. Black is 100% alpha. So basically you can, anywhere that's black is going to be transparent. So what he's basically saying is he used black to make the tips of this hair be transparent. So if you have anything higher than 100% black, it will not be transparent, right? So basically you can make an insert multi-mesh brush with like a tri-tip brush. And I think Michael Pavlovich has a video on how to make an IMM brush or an Ask ZBrush video or something like that. But basically you make a beginning, and this is open, and then you make a middle, and this is open here, and this is open here, and then an end like this, and this is open here. So 1, 2, 3, and 2 can duplicate all along here, right? And so you put, and he's saying he put a texture on top of it, and then the texture for this one is actually the black comes up into it like this. This is all 100, imagine this being 100% black. And so that's kind of your hair tube. Imagine this shape like this, right? So if you turn this on its side, the profile would look something like this, right? Or even, yeah, it looks like each of these hairs, the profile is something like this. So then when you this has a texture on it that streaks like this, and then an alpha on the bottom that makes it transparent on the bottom edge. So that's essentially how you do it. So I would go look up a tutorial on how to make a tri-part insert multi-mesh brush, and this part repeats. So this is the beginning, this is the end, and number 2 repeats as you drag it along. I don't know if I have any loaded up here. Well, like these zippers are always something you can kind of look at. What do I have selected here? Let's select this. Okay, so if I were to draw a zipper just out into space, here, let's do a smaller. Okay, so this is a tri-part brush. This little piece is the beginning. these teeth are the repeatable number 2 that I was showing you. And then this zipper end is number 3, right? So that's essentially how you would do it. 1, 2, 3. So I hope that helps. I can't really get into it and actually show you how to do it because I'm in the middle of doing this guy, but hopefully that explanation helps you out. Where did my part go? There it is. I switched to zipper and it replaced my cylinder with a zipper. Yeah, once you kind of understand what it's doing, it really isn't too big of a difficulty, you know? Okay, I'm going to do the same thing that I did the other piece. Come on. And hide these. Let's do double-sided. Delete hidden. So now we just have the walls of it. And then what I think I'm going to do is, if we look back at our reference, you can see that it has like it has this bottom piece of leather here, and then a top piece. And I'm going to make it kind of, I don't know if I'm going to make it go all the way around the back exactly like that. I think it might. Like, I'll probably just make it one piece. Because I'm trying to decide if it goes all the way around. Okay. Or if the back looks like the front, like this, you know? But I don't see another piece of cloth hanging off the back like that. So I'm just going to make it go all the way around. Hey, welcome. If you're new here, welcome. If you're curious who I am, my name is Shane Olson, and I've been streaming on Maxon's ZBrush channel for the last, I'd say, how long has it been, Neil? Like 9 years? Something like that. Every week, once a week. Not every week, but most weeks. Hey, what's up, Peter? How you doing, man? Thanks, sir. Yeah, it's a little different than my usual repertoire. How are things with you? Okay, I think I want to hang this way down here. Like a skirt kind of a deal. Actually, it's 2 pieces, so I'll do one piece and then the other piece. Speaking of One Piece, have you guys seen that new trailer for the live action One Piece? Ooh, it looks so good. Okay, so this will be the top, like his cheeks hanging out there. Let's get rid of these 2 slices right here. Make a little crotch window. Oh, gotta unmask it. And then let's add a loop here, and before I go too much further, I'm going to duplicate this and drag it down, and this will be the under piece. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to hit Control W to put this other piece in its own group. Okay. Things are good. Just home from Billund. So exhausted. Oh, really? Nice. You're so lucky you get to travel. But it's for work, so it's probably not as fun. Hope you had a good time though. Okay, I'm going to turn on dynamic subdivisions and then add some thickness. I'm going to actually turn off creases and get these kind of roundish so they feel more like leather pieces, and then I'll probably surround them with either rope or some kind of border. It's too thick. Coming up to 9 years. About 8 years, 10 months at the moment. I know, right? I don't do maths. Oh, goodness. That's a while. 8 years, 10 months. Dang. It's been quite the journey. I think Neil's been here almost the entire time, if not the whole time. So huge shout out to Neil. Thank you, Neil. You're the best. He's like my robot, but he's real. All right, so with this, it's kind of round here. Let's turn this off. Sometimes it's difficult to edit when you have thickness. So I'm just going to edit this and make it kind of a round end here. And then this bottom one is more straight. Yeah, see, it won't even pull. Come on. Maybe because it's masked off. Trying to decide if that's what I want it to be. I do want it to maybe a little thinner. There, that feels better. Whoa, where'd you go? Maybe taper down a little bit more to the front here. There we go. And then that, like this metal, and then the loincloth thingy-majig. I'm gonna color these a darker brown so they match. Okay, let's put some, let's get some kind of strap placement, like placeholders in there. Okay, again, and I've been doing this for a while. I think I might just make a cylinder and just park it down here so I can just duplicate it up whenever I need it. Because doing this append, grabbing this star, and turning it into a cylinder over and over again, it just makes it like, yeah, like it doesn't get the scale every time I bring it in. So I'm going to just park it down here. Just leave it for the next time I need a cylinder. That way I can just go duplicate and then bring it up and then hide that guy, or leave it unhidden. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so with 3D printing, I will typically make like when I do straps, I'll put it through, like I'll cut it all the way through. We've seen the Lego upscaled Santa minifigure. My wife's just finished building it. I have not. But I did see, like, I needed to talk to Peter, if you're still here, about that smart brick they're talking about. I want to know what that's all about. Okay, so, like for example, this, I want it to kind of go wrap around here and not stick out the back so far. Just kind of make an appearance around the front here. We can uncrease all. Now it just kind of looks like this, and then we'll have the cloth kind of spill out over, like just underneath it. The new way. You sound like a marketing guy, Peter. No, that's funny. I know, but I need to know, like, I want to know more about what it does, like how it works. Sounds fun, man. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to do a group by normals. And then I'm going to insert a couple edge loops here. Nope, this. Insert edge loop, divide, there we go. Just want to make it a little sharper here. Buy my things. It's all good. We can just tighten it up against him a little bit. And I'll go through and like do the same thing with this that I did with the headband, but later on. This is just a placeholder right now. And now I can just duplicate this down and it will become the red. So it looks like, yeah, see, I have to adjust this a little bit more. Some cool interactions between figures and smart tags. So is it using the same kind of tags that we used in Infinity? Bring vehicles to life, add story points. Nice. I can't remember what they're called. Something chips. Okay, let's go here. And I have to make enough space for this to go. This is going to go out and around, but through this ring of the metal part. RFID, thank you. Yeah, that. RFID chips. I know what I'm talking about, I swear. Okay, let's see. I need to bring this, I'm going to bring this bottom line up. Looks like we've got 45 people watching today. Not too bad. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me on this wonderful Thursday afternoon. At least it's afternoon for me. Whatever time it is in your part of the world. Okay, I want this to tuck up underneath, but then curl. So, insert an edge loop up high like this. And kind of bring, whoops, that's not what I want. Bring this up. To kind of tuck up underneath the one above it. That I'm just guessing, can't see it. Eyes are big to body ratio. Yeah, I'm not following the concept for the look of his face, because this is part of a line of goblins that already exist. This is a base mesh that comes from that line of goblins. So it's going to look, yeah, it's going to look more like this rather than this. Watching you helps me when I'm working on my own stuff. Brings good vibes. Awesome. I love bringing the vibes. Okay, just kind of want to kick these out here. Yeah, this concept is mainly for the pose and the weapons and stuff. The outfit. But I appreciate the feedback. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is make these not so round. And how you do that is you can insert in support loops. So basically the Z modeler, you can come in here and insert an edge loop and kind of bring it down near the edge. Put another one here near the edge. One more in the back. And then on this guy, I kind of want it to go around this corner and back again, not necessarily like, come on, like this. See, it just kind of ends. Maybe it might work. Let's try it. Like this, and then one more here. Yeah, I don't hate that. I just need to massage these corners out. See how much cleaner it makes these edges so they're not so bulbous. Just kind of round these out. Peter, did I tell you? Oh, I don't have Symmetry on for some reason. Did I tell you that I went to like a Lego Masters event that was local? It was, I think the last season. It was like a watch party with one of the crew that's from Utah. And it had already, you know, all the episodes had already been recorded. So they just kind of had food and prizes and stuff like that. And you could go to this, it was in the lower floor of this security building locally here. One of my buddies works there as an IT security guy, and he invited me to go check it out. So yeah, I was able to meet him and hang out and watch it, and it was fun. Oh, and I went to another Lego event, and I met that Crystal Star Girl, whatever her name. I think I messaged you while I was there. That's right. I just remembered that. But she's super fun. Okay. Yeah, for sure. It'd be fun. I'd be too scared. It'd be fun to be on that show, but I don't think I'm good enough. Be fun to go on there with my son or something. I would need to get better first. I think I could if I got better at it, and my son, he just likes to follow instructions. He's like that guy on the Emmett on the Lego Movie. Doesn't really make his own things, but he has so many So many builds that he's built. There you go, Peter. Yeah, can you do it? I thought you would be locked out. Okay, let's get this, let's start to get this loincloth kind of blocked out here, so it's not such a crotch window. Just want to look and see kind of how it's shaped again. I was just about to say Peter in disguise. Yeah. Weird. No, I'm not going to say it. Oh, okay. See, now I need the cylinder that's down here. Let's select it and bring it on up. Boop. Do split unmask points. There we go, much easier. Hypno glasses. Love it. Okay. So let's do group by normals. Let's repeat. Get rid of these things. It's weird. I kind of like the songs that have that like warbly off-key sound to them. Like this one. Reminds me of those old movies. Like that old French movie called Red Balloon. Do you guys ever remember? I'm probably way too old. Or go on the Australia one. There you go. I don't think Brickman would forget him. Peter's too memorable. But man, Australia one, that's my favorite. I was talking to Crystal Star about that, and she's like, yeah, it's my favorite one too. I met her teammate. I can't remember her name either. I got a picture with them. Let me see if I can find it. There we go. Yeah. This was at the event. This Crystal. This is her. I can't remember what her name is. But yeah, it was fun. If you guys haven't figured it out by now, Peter works for Lego. So that's why we get talking about it. And longtime friend and student of mine. Yeah, I'm glad you could hang out today, Peter. It's great. Okay, so let's see. Let's get it much thinner than that. That was a fun event. They had some pretty good builds there. Huge. Looks like they travel the country with all those things. There's no way I'd want to do that. Put on a mask singer mask. You know, it'd be funny is to wear what's the host guy's name that voices Batman? Put a mask on of him since he's not the host. Who's gonna be the host? Do you know? I guess you probably can't say. I've been watching that. Well, I watched like a single episode of the kid one. with what's her name, Osborne. If I want to create game-ready environment assets in ZBrush and aim for something close to R2D2, our Red Dead Redemption 2 level of detail, while still keeping them highly optimized for real-time performance, what would be the best workflow and approach to balance quality and performance? Well, I hate to say this, but I'm the wrong person to ask about that because I do stylized characters in ZBrush and I really don't do environments at all. I think that's kind of more of an Unreal question. So like a ZBrush to Unreal and using those mega scans, you know, and touching those mega scans up in ZBrush and get them to work. I'm trying to think if there's any courses that I know of. You might check Vertex School to see if there's any environment courses or classes, and I don't know if there's any YouTube videos showing that either. But yeah, I wish I had the answers for you. It's a great question, but yeah, I do stylized characters, so I'm not really involved in that. Okay, and it looks like there's like two separate little strappy guys. Okay, I'm gonna put this kind of down here, one maybe halfway up. Yeah, Hamish is great. Makes me laugh. I love how the Australian one is like, it feels lower budget, but it's a better show. I hate to say that out loud, but it's true. I think it's because of Brickman tends to post or to care. How can I say it without being offensive? He focuses more on the builds, like goes into what makes it good a little bit more than just like, I think the US producers lean into the drama a little too much. There, I said it. Okay. Getting rid of these, delete hidden. Now we have our extra strappies and I can just merge. Let's see. Just going to put a sport loop up top here. Okay, and then we can add thickness. Same with this, dynamic, contains what? Out of bounds something or other. What does that even mean? Out of bounds, maybe it has something to do with the UVs, but why would it? That's weird. Dumping my pen. Okay, so this is much skinnier, I think. Be like this. And these are a lot shorter. I'll pose them and everything later on, and they'll look better, I think. Peter, have you met Hamish? when you went there, or just Brickman? I think Brickman was here, right? Like in the US or something. I can't remember. The sunshine is blowing out my lighting. Hold on a second. Oh, there we go. Okay, I don't, since this is going to be printed like mini, it's for a D&D minifig, I don't want these to be too small. So I'll probably just, I'll make them a little thicker. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Masked Singer, because I think one of the modelers for that show is one of my students, or back in the day. I don't know if they still are, but that was pretty cool. Okay, so let's see here. I think for this, I'm gonna go ahead and add some more cuts in here, edge loops to even out the squares, so then I can subdivide it and kind of sculpt on it a little bit. I want to sculpt the details into it. I guess I could just do insert multi edges, but I'm being lazy, I guess. Lord, tell him hello, welcome. It's going well, thanks for asking. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit apply on this. And then I kind of want to just soften these edges somewhat. I'm going to add more subdivision levels. Okay. And then I want it to go from thin down here to thick in the back so it will print well. So I can do group by normals. What's up with this? What is going on? Hold on a second. For some reason it's like, okay, this is what I want right here. If I do a group by normals, there it goes. Okay. So now I can mask this center piece off, reorient my gizmo, and just kind of pull it out like this. Or, even better, if I want to keep this kind of edge here. Hold on a second. I'm gonna undo this back to when it was lower resolution. Yeah, there we go. So okay, right here. Certain edge loop. Okay. I'm gonna just do this by hand instead of accepting a dynamic subdivision thing. You'll see why. I want to keep it low. I'm gonna do an extrude polygroup all, and that'll give us the front facing thickness like this. And then on the back, I'm going to do it again, but I want to inset this. So I'm just going to bring it in a little bit like this and then mask it off and then kind of bring it in. Let's see here. Did it put? Okay. Let's do group by normals. I just want to mask off this interior faced thing like this. Center, let's turn off symmetry for a second because I want to center the gizmo and then scale it down like this. Okay, and then because I just want this little inner lip right there, and then we'll scale it in again, or extrude it in again, like this. And then this will be our anchor, like our extra little lip anchor thing. What I mean by that is this will be the thick part like this that will go up in and anchor it. And I can also flatten it so it's not so round. Like it looks like a fingernail. Just kind of flatten it, rotate it like this, and then subdivide it. And what that'll do is from most angles, it'll look like it's a thin piece of cloth, but when you look at the inside, it like is thick and it anchors itself in there. There we go. What am I? Why is it doing that? There it goes. That was weird. Anyway, I just kind of want to flip out the end a little bit. Just kind of bring in this. And then we can do some, oh, because it has thickness on it. That's why. Give it a save. Thanks, Neil. Sure, yeah. Save to my loo. Okay, I'm just going to apply this to add real subdivision levels and add a couple more, and then turn off symmetry, and then give it some detail. Let's turn on transparency for a second so I can get up underneath here. I should probably wait and do this part after it's posed. I'm doing it too soon. I just caught myself. Yeah, I'll do it after his leg is up in the air and doing this stuff. That way I can contour the wrinkles to follow the pose. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with these guys. Just insert some edge loops in here so I can subdivide it evenly. And then when it comes to posing time, I can pose it evenly. And then extrude polygroup all, give it similar thickness. And then again on the back, we're going to do that same kind of inset. Just so I can select this easier, I'm going to insert an edge loop going down the middle. That way I can do extrude a little bit. Let's do group by normals. Mask off this purple. Center it, reset it. And I just want to scale it down on itself a little bit, just to give it that edge. And then just kind of, again, we'll add a wedge to it. Looks like it's not being symmetrical anymore. Why not? I lost it. So, and I'm working on wrong side. So what I'm gonna do, all right, autosave. Got too many tools in here. Okay. Clear the mask and give it a mirror. Then a mirror and weld. There we go. I think it's because I did a group by normals and that's not symmetrical. So it didn't, kind of left it alone. All right. I just want to wedge this out like this. That way it'll just kind of stick into the body up here. Okay, again, I will pose these as after, or I'll adjust these after I give them a pose. Okay. So that's that for now. I think I'm feeling pretty good about that. And then same thing, I don't think I'm gonna put the borders around these panels until I get them posed. I think posing, after I get these weapons built, I mean I can build the weapons and stick them in his hands later. But both of them are grabbing onto the weapons, so I might as well do those poses and build the weapons in the symmetrical pose like this. Otherwise, I'm going to have to pose them in when he's in pose, and that's kind of extra work that I don't really need to do. I could also give him that necklace ring and this bone necklace too. I think I'll do that now. I'll build out this bone necklace. It shouldn't take too long. And then I still need to build these metal rings. And then I think his undershorts, I'm going to make them this this kind of beigeish color instead of the dark color. And then I got to make his hair coming out of the back of this headband thing, which is kind of strange, but you know, it is what it is. Do you guys have any questions while I'm going through this? I'll do all the cuts and everything the very last. That'll be the last thing I do. Kind of feels like his lips are too close to his nose. Kind of feeling like he doesn't have any teeth. Want him to have kind of a more serious face. It's kind of fun. More serious. You pull his brows back in space a little bit. I want him to have that, you know, I could kill you, right? Look on his face. Maybe soften this jawbone out a little bit, maybe not that much. Okay. Let's see here. Necklace. All right. I think, let me see if I want to start with this cylinder or not. Probably, and then I'll just swap it out for the appendage, I think. Split unmasked points. Maybe I'll just make this cylinder the middle. Hey, Quick Synth. Hi, Shane. Regarding hair curve brushes, is there a specific custom hair curve brush that you like to use for your sculpts? I actually have several that I love. The main one being Dylan Ekron's hairbrush that's called DE Hair, I think. I think he still sells it on Gumroad, if I'm not mistaken. Is that true, Neil? I can't remember. It's been too long. So that's one of my favorites. And then the Maxon hair curve brush is pretty fun because it has some strands kind of built into it. Dylan's brush has multiple separated strands, and the Maxon hairbrush is all connected. Okay. Oh, you found it. Nice. Yeah, I love that one. And then my buddy Steven makes a bunch. He makes a really cool... Yeah, yep, Dan Eater. Yep, yep. That's kind of the stylized hair, chunky industry standard hair is Dylan's. He made that a long time ago, and it's still great. Yeah, Dan Eater's awesome. Love his stuff. Same with Dylan. Dylan's fantastic. I haven't talked to Dylan for a while. Oh yeah, there you go. Funky Bunnies 3D. And then Steven Anderson on, I think, ArtStation, I want to say. Let me look it up really quick. He's got some cool ones too. There's also, in that Funky Bunnies 3D link, there is a... Here, I'll link them too so the YouTubers can get them. There's the Funky Bunnies one. Here's the... Because Neil can only post on Twitch right now. Okay, whoops, did I just post that twice? Sorry about that. I'm gonna get booted for spam. Okay, yeah, Smartest. This is Steven Anderson's. This is on Gumroad. This one's kind of like Dylan's, but this is a good one. And then ArtStation. He's got a handful on ArtStation. Yeah, so this one, this rounded hair chunks one, is really good if you want like cut off ends like this. It's really nice. He's got a wavy one. I have not used this one. And then these curls, a braid, and there's this one again. Yeah, they're all good. But the curly ones you have to be careful with if you're going to be doing 3D printing, because you have to make sure that the interior has enough volume that it crosses over itself. Like, you have to go in there and inflate it so there's no holes or traps, you know, for the resin to get trapped. It matters less when you're printing with filament. Actually, it doesn't matter at all. But when you're printing in resin, it can trap liquid resin, and that's bad for everybody. Okay, so let's do a mirror and weld, which will make this will make it symmetrical. This will be that center piece kind of a thing. Turn on symmetry, and then we're going to grab this appendage and just kind of pull this out. This down. Thanks so much, Shane. I recently got a new computer and I forgot to save some of my brushes, so I was trying to remember what I had. Ah, nice. Yeah. Usually if you purchase something from like Gumroad or ArtStation, it will remember your purchases and you can just go in there and re-download it. But yeah, if you can't remember what you had, it's like, where did I get this again? This is like steer horns on the end of a Cadillac in Texas. Let's do AccuCurve. Yeah, you know, I don't know why I've never made my own brushes and tried to sell them. I probably should have. Same with my base meshes, like I'm known for my blockouts, like teaching how to do character blockouts, and like a whole bunch of my students have made blockouts and they're selling them on ArtStation and stuff. Like, oh, that's cool. I don't know. I think it's just because I would rather teach people how to make base meshes than sell them. I don't want people to use them as a crutch. It's fine if you know how to make a base mesh, but just don't lean on them like a crutch. That's true. Then that's where I have to remember where I bought it. Yeah, where'd you buy it? Yeah, Cube. There's so many places, right? Or even like Funky Bunnies where you didn't buy them, you just downloaded it or whatever. Okay, let's see. It's just about quitting time, but I just wanted to say I do teach courses on how to do this. I have taught courses on how to do this for the last 8-9 years, something like that. I started in 2017, if you can believe it or not. Still going. And currently I have a school, SKOOL. There you go. The link's in the description on YouTube, and then Neil just posted one on Twitch there. So if you're interested in learning how to create characters like this, you can check that out. Face detail looks so good. Oh, thanks. So I need to give credit to Hector Moran over at Ronin Arts Workshop. This is a base mesh that he gave me, so I didn't do this one. I've edited it, but I didn't sculpt the original, so shout out to him for this one. I'm just there. It's part of a set of goblins, so it needs to match the rest of them. So this is the base mesh that came from that set, and so I'm just basically dressing him and posing him and making a new version of that from that goblin set. Yeah. So this will be available on their Patreon. It's Ronin Arts Workshop Patreon if you're interested in that. I've done several. So this is my fourth. I can show you some of the other ones if I still have them loaded. I don't think I do. Oh, here's one. This is the latest one I just did. See how he's kind of using the same base mesh, a little bit different looking guy. This is the samurai guy. Again, just kind of dressed and posed and gave him different hairstyle. Yeah, so this was a lot of fun. What I'm basically doing with the new one what I did with this one. And then this is another one. Let me see. There we go. So I've done two females as well. This is one of them. This will also be available. I think it's part of the same set actually. And then there's I don't think I have her loaded. There's a bomber one. Let's see this one. No? Merged. This one. There we go. Where's her base? There's her base. So here's a different one. Yep. They're fun. Where's the one I was working on? This one? No. Now I have too many loaded. There we go. Back to this one. Okay, so eventually he'll have all these pieces and parts on him and then pose like this with these cool weapons and stuff. They're just for D&D minis. They'll be printed out like really small. Yeah. I've been thinking about creating a new course, which, yeah, I'm working on that right now. And I'm thinking about doing it live, actually, in parts. So, and not a full character, but actually like if you guys are familiar with Stan Prokopenko, he teaches figure drawing and, well, all drawing, but mainly figure drawing. And he teaches like the human body in parts. Like he'll do a little mini course on just how to draw a shoulder, you know, and how all that works, or how to draw a hand. And I was thinking about doing something similar with sculpting. Yeah, Proko's amazing. He actually is the one who helped me get started with making courses. So I've been thinking about doing something like that. He does like it's interesting because he'll do like a standard version and he'll put it up on YouTube, like just the beginnings of it, and then he'll do a pro version that you pay for, that's part of his membership and stuff. And he's still making that stuff too, so pretty cool. Anyway, yeah, I hope that people would be interested in something like that. Okay, I'm going to save this so I don't lose it. Okay. All right, you guys, I think I'm going to wrap that up right there. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. We'll be back next week. I don't know with what. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, great. So great idea, little bite-sized projects. And exactly. I was thinking about, okay, for example, like sculpting a hand, but I would go through and give you all the tips and tricks and guidelines and even a checklist as far as like how to block out and even pose a hand. And then you would make your own block out and post it in a community. So to get some peer feedback, because I think one of the fastest ways to learn is to give other people feedback as well. It's really fun, and we got a great community going on. So I just haven't figured it out. Yeah, posing hands, exactly. Yep. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks very much. Yeah, have a good one. Have a great week. We'll catch you all next week. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks, Neil. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you later. Have a good one. Bye.